So it's been now how long since you last boxed?
So it's been 3 years, literally 3 years next month. Yeah.
What provoked the break from boxing?
Provoked the break, I'd say it was the time coming. I'm not gonna lie. I think the last 6 months of my career, on the surface, it looked great. I was training with GB. I wasn't in the team. I was having assessments with them. COVID was just about to end. I started competing again. Things are going well. I won the King of the Ring. Mm-hmm. Everything looked great on the surface. If you were to see my career from just, I don't know, an Instagram picture, you'd think, wow, he's going well.
Yeah.
Up there, it wasn't all there. I wouldn't say that's down to boxing. I'd say that's down to going full speed in life too fast, too long. And I knew in myself I needed a break. I didn't really voice it as early as I should have because, like I said, things were going well. I thought, I think the addiction kick over of success and winning and looking good. And really, I should have taken a break probably the summer of that year. Mm-hmm. But I thought, I'm going to keep going and keep pushing it. It just, every session became harder and harder mentally to push myself to. I wasn't enjoying the sport as much. I knew it myself because, like I said, I've never been forced to do it. I've never had to do it. I've done well in studies. I've done well in financial. I've always worked. It's just been something I can do, which I'm grateful for. So I was training with Dale McPhilbin, who used to train Carl Froch, who's been in this gym a couple of times, giving master classes. And
Carlos Takam's been here a bit as well.
Carlos Takam's been here, and Joe Kawasaki, Roy Jones Jr., hopefully meeting next week.
Wow.
Yeah, that's another story. But
we came on the wrong week, guys.
Yeah, and Dale, he's a brilliant coach. He was a GB coach for about 14 years, and he really got into my psychology. He's a sports psychologist as well, and he was the one who even said, I think you need to take some time out, Cam.
That's good.
And I was sort of happy when he said it, because I would listen to my coaches, my elders. He hit the nail on the head and said, I think a time out would do you well. Yeah. I didn't know how long that would be. And when I took the time out, I didn't have a time in mind when I come back, because in my head it was just, I don't know, I don't want to say freedom, but in a way I thought it would be like a big relaxation, you know? No more stress, no more. I even took a year out of uni. I wanted complete just rest. However, it didn't really turn out as I thought, to be honest. I was very lost without a routine. That structured, regimented routine I had for like 12 years, that didn't equate to just relaxation as soon as I took a step out. It came to a sort of standstill with my brain and body both going, what's going on? Obviously, I can keep my body occupied, going for runs, going swimming, playing tennis, trying to keep myself occupied.
Going from like a strict regimen, training every single day, waking up at 6 a.m, going for your run, going to university, going to school, all of these things that you had to do at once, you've now stepped out of in order to look after your mental health.
Yeah.
What was it during that break that actually helped you to get back into a routine and want to start training again and want to go back to university? Because now you're making a lot of big decisions in life again.
Yeah.
You're now taking it all back on.
I do look at it, and even this past, I'd say 4-6 weeks, I talked to my friend Ali about everything, and even he said, like, you different. Yeah. I came to see him at university last year, and he was up in Manchester, and even back from that year, he said, like, you've changed a lot. There's a lot of things I would question and always think, oh, have I said something wrong? Have I done something wrong? And it's just overthinking. It's to keep your mind occupied. It's used to going at that full steam so much, it almost got lost. I don't drink. I don't party a lot. I don't really do much that I'd say a normal teenager or a normal young adult does. So it's not really anything I've really ever wanted to do. I don't crave it. So it sort of came to a point where I was a bit lost. I didn't know what else to do much in life, you know. And going back to the motivation point, it sort of hit me now. I think that was a thing that I struggled with during the time I had off. It was because I always had that voice in my head that used to drive me. When I didn't want to get up in the morning, I said, no, do it. Let's. I couldn't just go back, let's do it. That was still there. That doesn't take a break. That's something you've built over 10, 12 years. Wow. That voice is powerful. It's like a coach in your head. And because that didn't take a break, I'm almost constantly getting orders from something that I didn't know what's going on, if that makes sense. So one of the main things that got me sort of focused and level-headed again, I had help, I had professional help. That was through a few things just throughout my childhood I was dealing with that I never really dealt with properly because I was always busy and just focused. And then also I got back into I love nature. I love art. I'm not big on social media and, you know, texting, meeting lots of people and stuff. I love my artwork. I love going for long walks in nature. I love my dog. My dog is my best friend. Anyone asks me that, I always say it's my dog.
Bella.
Yeah, Bella's my little girl. And it's very simple things, but I definitely got into mindfulness a lot more. Good. Mindfulness, religion, became Christian, got into God. And I wouldn't say that, you know, it was the only thing that's helped me, but it definitely opened my mind up to a lot of different things in life. And it made me realise that when I got older, I used to think life got so much busier. You'd have work, you'd have jobs, more money, you can do what you want. materialistic life, a capitalist society.
Yeah.
But I started realising, I learned about all this in uni, and things I used to read started coming back into my head. I don't know if you know David Harvey, spatial geographer, and he says a lot of words of wisdom about capitalism and society, and it started making real sense about how it will crash. I'm not trying to doom anyone. I don't think it's going to crash anytime soon. But in my head, it almost did. And I started looking at things I had in my room. I started looking at, car I have, house I live in. I thought, if all this wasn't here, would I still be happy? And I thought, well, no, probably not. But people out there with nothing still find happiness from within. I know this might seem like it's going off topic, but this is where I really realised I don't want to do boxing to just win and, just if I don't win, I'm not going to be happy. That's what I started relying on. I want to get back into this sport because I love it and because I enjoy it. It's something I do. Getting your body moving helps everyone every day, getting active. No wonder why I worked in an office for 4 months of my year off and I was not great. And you put it that way, sitting sedentary for 8 hours a day is not the one for me.
No.
So I realised it's doing things you love, doing a movement, not having to stick to a strict regime of I have to do this amount of rounds, I have to do this. Obviously, when I start competing again, I'm happy to do that. I'll do anything when I'm training. But it's more a case of I'm going to do this because I love it. I'm going to do my runs because I actually enjoy running. I love running. I love being active. I want to speak to people. I want to meet people like you. I want to try and help anyone I can. I never used to be that open and honest about what's going on in my head, how I've got and cope through things. Yep. But even just speak to my friends and family, I've realised that I'm not the only one. A lot of people go through stuff in life and they won't ever admit it and they won't ever talk about it. Until you come to terms with yourself that unless you're open and honest to yourself, nothing will change. And the more you lie to yourself and deceive yourself, and I know that sounds quite harsh, but at the end of the day it is. I've lied to myself for years and years about other things, not to do with boxing. And until you come to terms and face it, you can never fully swallow the pill. You can never say, I'm happy with that actually. You're always going to have those thoughts and voices, but until you come to terms and say, actually, that might be there, that might be true, but that doesn't bother me anymore. I'm going to do the best thing I can. And that's where religion comes in. A lot of the Bible and any religious book always talks about helping others, loving each other. And it's hard to do. When you grow up very straight man focused, for more than half my life I've been on one road. I was quite selfish in that road, you had to be. If I wanted to train in the morning, I had to wake up at uni and knock on people's doors. Can you be quiet, please? I've got to be off in 5 hours, And they might think, oh, why is he so moody? But you've got to be selfish. That's the world we live in, unfortunately. However, there's certain times where you don't have to be selfish. You can help people. People are going through things that you probably think having the best time of their life, like I was. But until you sit down and talk to them and share your experiences, it takes a lot for someone to open up, especially like me, I was very closed book. So I think definitely me opening up mentally has helped me get back into a sport that I realised I didn't hate. I just didn't have, my relationship to it became too strict. It's like when you're with someone all the time, if you don't leave their side, they're going to get sick of you eventually, or you're going to get sick of them. With boxing, that was all my life was. And I realised that over this time that I've been coming back to it, switching off from the gym, which I never used to be able to do, I would think about training and what I'd done right, what I'd done wrong, more what I've done wrong. And it never helped, really. That's where Dale came into big play as well, telling me to write things down, draw pictures. It's things I never used to think of. He'd tell me things, I think, what? But I do it and it works. Yeah. So definitely listen to your elders, listen to people who care about you in your life. Things happen for a reason. You meet people, you have experiences, and they all start to make sense. And once you start to open your life to that good energy, it flows in. My mum used to talk about, my mum was very spiritual, holistic. She used to talk about energy a lot to me as a kid, and I used to just think, Mum, stop being silly. Energy is just what you eat and, the light bulbs we have on. But it really comes into play. And that's my motivation now, is the good energy coming into my life. Wow. Thinking how blessed I am every morning to wake up. So I still have days I don't want to wake up. I'm not just happy, smiley all the time. But at the end of the day, if I have a little tantrum in my head about, I can't bother to work, I'm like, Cameron, you chose this job. You chose this sport. You are the one making decisions in your life. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But I know I wouldn't be happy with myself for that. So
you show up anyway. You show up no matter what. That's beautiful, man. And you took a lot of time to just be mindful and learn yourself.
That's the main point in this.
What's next for you, though, now? Now that you're back in, you're going back to university, you're going back to competition potentially. What's next?
I think I've got the same goals I had before, to be honest. I don't want to put a grade on my uni degree, but I do want to do well in it. I've been working towards getting a really good grade in it. And the goals don't change. It's just my expectations of it will change. I don't expect to get it. I don't make myself feel bad if I don't get it. It's a goal. It's good to have goals. So I want to complete my uni degree. I want to get that done. Well, it'll be done by June next year. hopefully get a good result in that. And honestly, I'm looking to go travelling.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm looking to keep trading. I want to go to Thailand. I want to go for maybe a month or two. I want to see a bit of the world, but I am very focused on my long-term goals, which is to get back into boxing. I want to start competing again. I'm not sure, I don't want to put a date on it, but I know in my head when go time, I know when it is. That's why I can't tell people when I want to get back into it. I'm enjoying sparring, I'm enjoying training. I'm pretty much there in terms of fitness and mental levels. It's more just I want to focus on one thing at a time. Having too many things going on for too long, that's what took a toll.
Yeah.
And I'm aware of that. And I'm mindful of it. So that's why I'm just taking each day as it comes, as Dale says, and enjoying the moment.
That's beautiful, man. Thank you for joining me, Cameron.
No worries.
I appreciate it, man.